G'day. Welcome to our usual dumb comic talk, once again taking place on a different day. We're going to be talking today about the death of the family event, which also has the companion piece of Batman Volume 3 if you want the whole story. Stop doing that, DC. So, death of the family. Where do I start? So, once again with the Night of the Owls, there's a lot of stuff where it's like the Joker is back. Big deal since he's been missing from most of the New 52 for quite a while. And he's back with a new look.
You can say that.
Yeah. Well, it's like the same look technically.
Yeah.
But for those of you who don't know, he cut off his own face. And because he's the Joker, he's like, I guess I'm going to use my own face as a mask. I'm not sure if that's a symbolism for anything.
It's a big fan of Face Off.
Maybe. So, once again, when I was saying the Night of the Owls, there's a lot of stories in this that are just thrown together with the Bat family. Like, we were just talking before about Catwoman, how she's in it for not any
She's not really part of the family. Like, what the hell? She's a villain.
It's like, she's there, and it's not really any super important part. Like, she's just there to be there. And I really dislike it when it does that, because it interrupts the flow of the story. Also, the Joker, he gets around town pretty quickly.
Yeah.
He has a lot of plans.
All I can think of is it's done different days or some shit.
Yeah, because it's
like
just...
you think you would know, one of us didn't come back. Like, what?
So, I don't know. Where do we start from this? So, as we said, the Joker's come back. Batman's having this sort of crisis. Damien isn't dead yet. So, they're all together and he's just like, okay, Joker's come back, this is pretty bad. However, Joker's being a bit more of a dick than usual. This time he's like, I'm specifically going to go after your whole family because I know who you guys are.
For some reason. Even though his entire personality is, I don't care who they are. It's all about the game. Like, and how you play it. But like, it goes against his entire character. Like, he doesn't care who Bruce Wayne is. He doesn't care who these people are. Like, he's only doing it so he can play with Batman because that's who he finds interesting. So it's kind of weird that he's like changed completely.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So
new look, right?
We'll get the sort of side stories. Well, it's all part of the same story, but it's like all building up to the one big event.
Yeah.
Who do you think has the best, story before they get captured by the Joker? And that's the thing. Everything ends with the person being captured by the Joker, except for Catwoman.
Yeah, because she's a mad.
Yeah. Sure.
I did like the Tim Drake Red Hood one. Mm-hmm. That was interesting. It was a bit grotesque as well with how he did it.
Yeah.
So with that one, basically, because the Red Hood, like his story is like his parents are dead sort of thing. So then like Bruce Wayne finds him like stealing tires off of the fucking Batmobile.
Trying to jack the Batmobile, yeah.
So it's sort of like, so his parents are dead, so I'm going to train you sort of thing. And it's sort of implied that one of the villains is the one that basically killed his family. Yeah. And then, so with Tim Drake, he was basically he's the model, he'd be Batman if it wasn't for Batman being there sort of thing. Like, he's basically
he figures out who Batman is.
Yeah, he finds out who he is. Also, he's super well trained, he's in all the athletic shit, he's basically the gold medalist of everything. And he finds out who he is, he tracks him down, he finds the Batcave, and he breaks in, and it's like, Master, there's a small boy in the Batcave.
Oh, excellent.
So because of that, I think was it Two-Face that kills his parents?
I can't remember his name, but he does. It's a thug, a Tony something. Tony's. I'll find out who it is.
Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, it's Tony Schiavone, the WCW commentator. He kills Tim Drake's.
What a heel turn.
But his dad is maybe still alive-ish in this. It's like he's sick.
It's weird. I think basically people want the family dead, so they have to go into witness protection, but Tim Drake can't come with them.
Yeah.
For some reason, so he's like, I guess I'll live with Mr. Wayne up in his mansion.
That's what all them young boys do.
So yeah, basically, so they get tied up together because it's they had the same thing, and Joker's like, I have both of your dads. I found them. They're alive. You want to see them again? You got to kill the other Robin.
And what is it? It's like one of them's a deadbeat dad.
Yeah,
one
which
of them's
is
like
what Jason Todd's, and then the other one's like an actual good father. And it's like, because Jason's he's the one that's more likely to kill, but like his dad is the shitty one. So like, would he really want to kill for his dad? It's like, do it.
I really liked Batgirl's story for the most part, because that's where you have the most really Joker-feeling Joker.
Yeah.
Like, because he is quite sadistic in this. He comes back and he's not like, playful. Like, he still has the Joker's sort of charm about him. Like, he does things in a certain way that makes you sort of morbidly smile along with him with the black humor. But he's back and he's like, let's put the full stop on the whole Batman Joker thing here. Let's try and end it with a bang, so to speak. And either you and I become, or maybe it's I'm hesitant to say this, but I do see a lot of parallels in a sort of romance story. Like, the Joker is like...
Well, the Joker's just...
He's infatuated.
He's obsessed with Batman, so it's like, this is going to end with either you and me, like, together. Like, basically, he doesn't want it to end, and he's thinking, like, his words are like, that your family is basically keeping us apart, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't for all these people getting in the way, we'd have much more time together. So, like, if I get rid of them, get them out of the picture, and do it in a way that makes you hate me more, that's really good for me.
Yeah. It's like, you and I used to have a whole bunch of fun when we were younger, but then you had kids, and it's like, now you got a family, we don't get to have, get up to so much fun, because you're so worried about these guys that you never give me your full attention. And so if I get rid of those guys, as Jesse said, not only will you hate me, but all your attention will be focused on me. So Batman is forced to go through quite a few hoops. He has to really test his own resolve, and there's a point in here where you think that, he might even consider killing the Joker.
Yeah.
So we're going to go right to the real sort of spoilerific part. So, just on a recommendation, would you say it's worth a read?
It's worth reading the main story, and then any characters that you particularly like from the family, go back and read those ones as well.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't bother reading like the ones you don't care about. Like, don't bother reading the Catwoman one.
Yeah.
Or, like, if you don't like certain characters, don't bother reading them. But like, definitely read the ones you like, and then read the main story, because it's interesting, and what happens is pretty cool, I'd say.
Okay.
Also, it's important for the whole, story.
Mythos.
Yeah.
So, right, so now that we're in the spoiler section of the video, Joker captures everybody, as we were mentioning before.
Just instantly let it go.
And they have a dinner party, so to speak, and for a while, he's making everyone think that he's cut off their faces.
Yeah, so basically they're all sitting at the table, and they're all tied up, and they all have bandages over their face which are covered in blood. So people, it's assumed that, he's cut off all their faces, and then he serves them all these silver platters of, their face, on their, here you go. It's like, oh, that's not good. So it's assumed that he's done that to every single one of them, and it's like, well, what are you gonna... And also, they're all coated in gasoline, and there's and also, if Batman stands up, a match goes off, which ignites the entire thing and burns them all to death.
So it's like, that's pretty messed up. Especially because you as the reader, it has you in such a state where, normally the part of your brain would be like, no, they couldn't do that.
Yeah, they wouldn't have this happen to the characters, because they'd be ruined forever, right?
But then it's like they take it off, and then, there's all the faces, and you're like, shit, okay, well, that's a thing that actually happened, I guess. So it gives you that suspension of disbelief. This is a polarizing thing, and I have a feeling that I'll have a different opinion to you, Jesse. But what do you think of the Batman-Joker final confrontation at the end?
It was interesting. So I would have, so it ends up with, they have this whole fight, and Joker's doing his thing where it's like, you wouldn't kill me, I'm the Joker. And all this stuff. And Batman's like, oh, don't be so sure, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you now. It's like, are you though? And then it gets to the very end, it's like they're into the Batcave, this is happening, so apparently Joker knows that as well. And basically Joker is he's hanging for dear life off a cliff, leading into these massive rapids of water, and the Batman's like, do I save him or do I walk away? And it's like, I forget what that does. I'm pretty sure he goes down to, like, grab him, but then Joker lets go himself.
Yeah. So most of that ending fight is Batman saying, "I've had enough. I'm going to kill you."
Like, you're just joking, man. It's like, I'm eating now this time. I'm gonna kill you. Like,
and so the part that made me sort of not really like it is they have we forgot to mention Harley Quinn's story earlier, which is pretty good.
It's okay. So Harley Quinn, basically, they ruin the character, but it's interesting. It adds the Joker's story.
Yeah, it makes the Joker more of a. You stop because I feel that the problem with the Joker character is a lot of people just like empathize, not empathize, but sort of like they like seeing him.
Yeah, he's like,
so it's like
this guy. This will be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun to go on this adventure. And even though he does horrible things, it's just like darkly interesting for the reader.
Yeah.
And so they're like, we need to build this guy up as like you hate him.
As an actual psychopath. It's like this isn't a good person. You shouldn't be happy when he appears in this shit.
Yeah, and he comes across as an actual threat. Someone that, he still has those moments where you're like, that's the Joker, but it's like this he's terrifying.
He has more of like a scary undertone rather than just like, he's just doing this stuff for a laugh. Like, it's more like, don't do that stuff for a laugh, maybe.
So in order to, really build up this guy as a, terrible person, they have to do something to Harley Quinn. And
so basically it shows Harley Quinn, and at this point she's not really working for the Joker. It's like she's
more of a Suicide Squad deal.
Yeah, so she basically like, I'm over you, Joker. Like, I don't need you anymore. I'm boning Deadshot now.
Who's dead? And then Joker shows up and he's like, "I'm going to desecrate his corpse at the funeral."
Yeah, just destroys his like tombstone and stuff like that. It's like, I'm going to have to kill you. So then basically he just like fucking chloroforms her or some shit.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, you're not good enough for me anymore. I'll change that. So he basically brings her down to the basement. It's like, you think you're special, Harley? You're fucking nothing to me. Like you were never anything to me.
Who's to say you're the first Harley?
Yeah, and it's like, what? It's like, so basically, she wakes up and she's in this dungeon, and the Joker's just like, well, you be here for a while, I'll see ya, and he just walks off. And it's like, I think it's like he's like a Thor or something. If you want to like take your own hands.
He's like, the only way you'd get out of this is if you broke your own wrists.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that you won't do it.
Yeah, you're too much of a bitch to do that.
Yeah.
So like, have fun dying here, I guess. And then she looks around, and then there's just all these corpses. But they're all dressed as Harley Quinn.
Yeah, so
like there's an entire room of like 20 or so corpses, and they're all Harley Quinns.
So that's very interesting.
So like this isn't the first person. Like, so he just I think he likes having a doll to play with as like another set piece in his little play into his games sort of thing. But once he gets bored of it, she's gone.
Yeah. So
it ruins the character Harley Quinn. Because there's supposed to be a single Harley Quinn, and then like
there's supposed to be a massive infatuation.
Yeah, you can just assume that Harley Quinn died fucking years ago.
Yeah.
So her backstory and her motives don't matter anymore, and it's made her less of it's made her less to do with the Joker, I guess.
More of her own character than tied to the Joker now.
But it's sort of like her entire character was the Joker.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, it's basically a new character for Harley Quinn.
Yeah. So you'll either appreciate that or not so much, because it just depends on how you look at it.
I mean, they'd already ruined the character long before this happened.
With the New 52.
Not even that, like, it's not even fucking, like, Arkham Asylum, the game.
It's yeah, that's
she's been ruined for a long time. At least now they're doing something new with the character.
I can appreciate that, at least. And she does choose to break her own wrists to get out of it.
She gets out of there, so it's like, I mean, she's going back to Suicide Squad, I guess, to go bang the new leader of them. Yeah. She does that, I guess.
She's got to do whatever she does best.
Keep it on, Harley.
But yeah, at the end, Batman, he might have made the Joker scared.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if I like that, because I'm not sure if that's a break in the Joker's character, because is he crazy? Is he not crazy? I know that's a debate that some people have. I prefer when he's like, a highly functioning sociopath, psychopath. If it's like, I like the idea that he is truly crazy, I don't like it how he's putting on an act. If that's
No,
what... I don't. I feel it lessens the character.
That makes him more like Professor Pig than like the Joker.
It makes him more like a try-hard villain. He's like, I'm just doing this...
Like Professor Pig, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. He's like, I'm doing this for the whole try-hard aspect. It's like, this is all...
Look how cool, look how edgy I am.
Look at, I'm the greatest dude ever. Look at me. More like a child than an actual...
Yeah.
You know,
and like,
threat, really. It takes away from the
gravitas
of the character.
The way they built him now, with like all of like the extra like shit he's been doing in the comic, like he's built more like a crazy person and less like an actor now, though.
So it's like if he was acting all this stuff out, he cut his own face off.
Yeah,
that's a lot of dedication.
He's a method actor.
Yeah, that's a lot of dedication to just be like, hey, look at me. So, you know, ultimately he will be unstable in any way, because I don't think any regular person would do that. But, I don't know, I just didn't like that. If he was truly crazy, he wouldn't really care. And also, they have this one scene in this, where Bruce Wayne goes and visits the Joker in Arkham Asylum.
Yes.
And Joker is implied to completely know that it's Batman, but not care. He just turns it off because it's boring.
Like Bruce Wayne goes in there as Bruce Wayne, and he pulls out the mask, and it's like he talks to him in his voice, like as like Batman's voice, and then takes it as like, I did everything. I told you everything. He just like he looked through him, like he wasn't really there. It's like apparently he doesn't give a shit about Bruce Wayne. It's just Batman. So then why go to the trouble of like, I know you. Like, that makes no sense.
It's like he knows Batman is Bruce Wayne, or if he doesn't, then it's just like a whole bunch of this story falls apart, because it's like, well, then if he doesn't know that he is Bruce Wayne,
how does he know where the Batcave? How does he know these people? It's like, what? So
I like this story, but I don't know. It's really tough, because it all hinges on, you know, it's right there in the title for the collector edition. It's like the Joker. So it's like if the Joker starts falling apart in such a Joker-centric story, your story is gonna, you know, follow suit.
You're good. You're good, Stuart.
Anyway,
it would have like it didn't need to be as like violent and stuff as it was.
Is like, that a modern day thing, though? Like, where it's like they have to try and make it more violent for its readers?
Yes, but like, it didn't really need to be like that. Like, he could have had this story told using how the old Joker was, and it would have been just as impactful and everything. Like, they did. Like, that's what the Killing Joke is, basically.
Yeah. And it's... I don't know, I expected more from Red Hood as well, because it's like death of the family for, you know, and death in the family, obviously, but...
Yeah.
You know...
You'd think he'd be like, oh, not this again.
Yeah, you think he'd be like, oh, dear.
This doesn't end well, I can tell you right
now. So what I would say it does well is, if you want to trip inside of Batman's psyche, it's a really interesting trip. And it's like, you see these other villains, and they have to sort of coexist with the Joker, and you see how he's sort of on this different level to all the rest of them. It's
interesting to see what the characters do when reflecting off of what the Joker's doing.
Yeah.
Like, what do they think of him at this point?
That's a perfect way to describe it. And ultimately, I think that the story is good. It would be worth a buy, but
you have to buy two of them.
Yeah, you also have to, as I said, it actually ends up in this, so you will have to buy Volume 3 of
I will
Batman.
say though, if you buy, like, because I have a Teen Titans at home, which is Death of the Family Teen Titans, and it goes through the entire Tim Drake storyline, even the ending. So
which is cool.
You don't have to buy the collection, like, you can just buy the character you want to see. Like, if you just bought the Batman itself one, like this one, it would have everything important from this thing, but just like with
so you wouldn't see the additional characters. So ultimately, if you're just following it for Batman, or in Jesse's case, like Teen Titans, then just pick up the respective Death of the Family books, and you should be right. I don't think that, you know, on reflection, that the other side stories are really necessary as much as you think. Once again, that's what I just do whenever
different day.
Different day.
That was a different person calling on a different day.
Yeah, exactly. So ultimately, on reflection, these stories, they don't matter as much. They're only interesting, like, if you're like, okay, well, let's see what these other characters are doing, how they're reacting. Yeah. So, Batman is definitely the quintessential version to read. And as a whole story, Death of the Family, for me, Okay, so it's really good setting. I like the new Joker's attitude, but I don't like a couple of things that they do with his personality at the end. I feel it has a weak ending, which will very much impact how you view the story. Depending on how you view other certain characters and how they react around the Joker, you'll either like it or really dislike it. It's very polarizing in terms of that. So I think it, however, no matter what I say about it, it deserves a solid 7 out of 10. And Scott Snyder's writing is great, except I just really wish they had a different ending because that would take it up to an 8 for me. Okay?
I'd give it an 8. I actually did really like the ending. Like, maybe not the very ending because like it sort of took the choice out of Batman's hand. I would have rather him made a choice, or else because that basically makes this entire show like makes the entire thing like, well, it doesn't matter because like what he was trying to do nothing happened at the end.
Yeah.
So that like, it was like the choice was taken from him, so it's like it's not as impactful. I did like the end scene.
Yeah.
And like all the stuff leading up to it. I thought that was good. Like, I don't know. Other than the ending, I really enjoyed all the characters and how they sort of like interacted. It's definitely worth like reading for the characters you like, not necessarily for like all the other like Psycho, like Catwoman and stuff like that. Like,
if you're a fan of the Joker, would you recommend it, or is it too much of a departure from his usual style?
I would say like it works. It works if you want to see like how the like.
How dark can the Joker go?
Yeah, it's a different take on the Joker, and it's a more violent Joker. It's less about the like animated series style Joker. It was like, oh, it's like about the gags and stuff. It's more about he's like trying to like prove a point. Like this is like what he's doing when Batman isn't paying attention to him. It's like this is
a problem child.
Yeah, like if you let Joker go too far, like this is what he will eventually wind up as. That's interesting, looking at Joker at his limit and seeing like what he's willing to do.
So at the end, Joker is nowhere to be seen. Do you think Joker is coming back? I mean, he is going to come back in some capacity.
Yeah.
If so, do you think he'll have the face back? Do you think that? Because I'm not.
It'd be kind of hard to reattach the face.
Yeah.
I think like I would have like with all that happened in this and in it being like Joker at like his like most like homicidal and most evil sort of thing, I would rather him like not come back.
Okay.
But like
he is the Joker, so you know better. Yeah.
I understand that like well he's gonna come back, but like maybe just like I would find it interesting like if this was like not the actual Joker. If it was just some other guy that really wanted to be like him.
Interesting.
So that way the Joker is still fine and like he can still come back as like not as fucking like disgraceful sort of thing, but like he can be like it's sort of like this is someone's idea of what the Joker was, and this is someone taking the Joker too far almost.